So, Five Nights at Freddy's. Well. You're finally coming into the fog. Took you long enough. Took me long enough to make videos about it too. I'm a bit late to the party, and I'm also a bit late to making videos about DBD too. I'm a bit late. I'm late to everything. You, not always, but I'm late to this. Oh my goodness. Don't worry about that. Don't. Editor Tyler, just cut that out, yeah. Okay. All right. Um, you're finally in the fog, so let's talk about it. First off, welcome to the fog. It's been what, 8-9 years we've been waiting, and I say we as like the community, even though I'm walking into the community right now. It's really like I think my first or second of like video in the video. But FNAF now, FNAF is interesting. So let's start. So this video is gonna be multiple different parts. It's gonna be the sections will be my knowledge about FNAF, my thoughts about the collab, what I know about what's in the chapter, what I think should be in the chapter, my opinions about the future of the game because of this chapter, and my final thoughts. Anyways, let's start from the beginning. So, the history of FNAF. So in the just kidding. I ain't making a history of FNAF. There's plenty of videos out there for that. I don't want to make a 3-hour long video about the history of FNAF. So what I will do instead is just talk about how I think it went down. You know, because they had to talk with Scott Cawthon, which is, I'd imagine, it's not easy because I know he's very prestigious with his IP, and I do not blame him at all. In the future, if things go according to plan, I don't know if I'll be the same way, but that's some detectives are there going to piece that together. But right now, it's okay. So he's very prestigious with his IP, right? And so because FNAF was on the #1 list for like every like license list survey thing, this has been hyped for quite a while. So we've been waiting and waiting for this. Now, what's interesting is this one's a big one, right? This one is up there with the likes of, you know, now that you think of it, you can kind of think of it like Jason, Freddy, Chucky, Michael Myers, and the Leatherface. They're all like the older version of the OG killers. You know, when you think of horror, you think of them. But this new, it's not really new, old, but just stay with me. This new version has like Pennywise, Terrifier, Springtrap like FNAF, 2 clowns. It's crazy. You could say Megan, yeah. You could say her, maybe, if you could probably fit her in there, but at least those 3. So, you know, that's kind of something interesting. What we need left is Jason. And once Jason's in, then the boss gets filled. But, you know, anyway. Alright, so in this part, or section, it will be what my knowledge about FNAF. So what I know about FNAF, I know some history. You know, I know that William, you know, took the kids in the back. You know, I know the restaurants, like the diner, and opened up before. I know most of it, but this new lore, like I know pretty much everything. But I know like the Secret Mimic. I know that's coming out. The new game, the newest game, not Mimic, is like I put it on screen or something. I know a little bit about that, but I think I know all the lore for the most part. Yeah, I think I know pretty much. So whatever they add in the chapter, well, I don't know I don't know like the AR stuff. I know like Help Wanted or Help Wanted 2. I think I have Help Wanted. Hang on. Let's see. There it is. Here it is. Look. Yeah, Help Wanted 2. Some of y'all maybe don't know that's a thing, but second one. I don't know nothing about this. Help Wanted. Yep. I haven't even played it. I mean, it's open. It's a cool little manual in here. Oh, it's not a manual. It's just a... Okay, but I don't know nothing about it. I think it's like every day is like a different arcade game or something. I don't know about that. Put this back. Alright, so I think I have Wanted on the Switch, I think. Anyways. I gotta make this go. Yeah, I don't really know about that. Section 2, my thoughts about the collab. Now, I'm really hyped for this collab. This collab's really... I've been waiting quite a while. A bunch of speculations, theories. This collab's pretty hype. Now, I don't think they're going to do justice to it. They never quite do. But Scott Cawthon, he's kind of like in charge of the chapter, so all of it is what he wants, which is fine. You know, I'm not going to argue against the creator that, you know, not saying I know more than he does. I'm just saying it would be cool if they added little touches and stuff, you know, certain skins and stuff. But it's not my chapter, it's his, so whatever Scott wants, if it's whatever he wants, I guarantee you they're gonna miss some things. I guarantee it's not gonna be what it could be. You know, the potential, it just won't be there. I can already say it. They never do. They never do. Sometimes they do actually. Sometimes they do, but they don't. They just replace like the killer and survivors. They don't change nothing. They change stuff with the Blood Moon event with like gas cans and stuff, but they won't do that as a power. They just keep the same game. They won't innovate. They just change, which is not intrinsically bad, but it's FNAF. Like, we gotta have something, man. Like I know there's a killer, but why is there no survivor? Like, they're not telling us. He's like, why is there no survivor? Okay, cool, maybe Scott doesn't want innovations of the survivor, maybe, sure. Okay, but is there gonna be skins? Is there gonna be, like, can you play as Blight Foxy or something like that? You're gonna make a lot of money. You know, you're gonna have a high play count. I already know it. But it's, you know, I want them to innovate. But will they? Probably not. No, probably not. What I know about what's in the chapter. Now, this part is interesting because I know that there's a map, and I know that there's a killer. Spring Trap. But that was revealed in the PAX live stream, which I'll play it up right here.
Our new killer. Yeah. Let's show that bad boy.
So I already know what's in it. I don't know nothing else. I know there's some camera thing, but I don't know if that's like a power, that's like a map thing. I don't really know what that has to do with much, but based on what they told us, it's pretty lackluster. You know, I'm thinking told you they weren't gonna innovate. Well, hopefully the map's good. Hopefully there's as many Easter eggs as they've been saying. I don't know his power though, so maybe there's hope in the power. Maybe there's hope in the power. Who knows? I'm thinking like, you know, I don't even know what they could do. They could do a bunch of stuff like the Phantom summoning thing, or they could do like I don't know. I don't know what they could do, but hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's not something lame like just he just punches you or something, or like I found you, and then like pushes you or something like in the movie or something. I don't know. Like hopefully it's not lame. Like spice it up a little bit, but I don't really know because you know, like Dracula and Vecna, like they were pretty innovative. You got like all these living powers and stuff. You know, that would be pretty cool. You know, you got like you can disrupt cameras. You can turn people's screens black. You could shoot ghosts at them. It won't actually harm them. It will just spook them, and then you can like attack them and like, oh no, there's a bunch of different powers or something. Or you can even have like a certain survivors looking at like a camera as like one of your powers. I don't know. But that would be pretty cool. But I don't know because I'm thinking they're gonna do something like with it, since there's a bunch of new people coming in. I don't think they want to make it sophisticated, so that might be a problem. And they're probably just gonna. What they're probably gonna do is probably just like give them something simple, but make it like look or feel like it's something. Oh, it's a brand new thing. Like for example, like Xenomorph. It's like I really like Xenomorph. I'm just saying, for example, give it like a tail, but you can like teleport basically, which is cool, you know. But it's kind of like the same as like Onryo sort of, except you added like a tail, you know. Maybe they might. I don't really know what they got going on, but something like that, you know. Like they're probably just gonna give a little bit extra, but then just keep everything else the same, you know. I don't really know. They said you can play different play styles, so. I just hope it's good, and then with no like they should at least give us a security outfit. We have one for David, but they should at least like give us something: a shirt, a jacket, pants, or like a Fnaf token charm, something like that. I don't know. The cosmetics they could have been so fire. Like they could be so good. But I just don't think they're gonna do it. I don't know. To me personally, half the team is good at doing justice to IP, and the other half is just not. I really like behavior, but man, they can't seem to get a perfect chapter. You know, I mean, that's not true. Some chapters are good, but like they can't live up to potential. Like you could have done so much more. I don't really know. I don't really make games, so I'm not hating. But I expect to be in there. I think I have, So, I'll take a screenshot and stuff, but I have it on my work, my phone here. All this stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm just read it out. Okay, so this is what I think. So me and my best friend. I'm not gonna say the name for privacy, but let's just call him A. We're gonna say A. Yeah, that's fine. So I was at A's house, and we were talking about the FNAF chapter. Now keep in mind, A doesn't. A knows a lot about FNAF. Me and A, when it comes to FNAF. We know a lot about FNAF, like the ins and outs and such. But A knows more than I do. But that's because I was very late to the party. Again, my bad. When the FNAF chain took off, and it already left the station. It's been gone. That's when I came in and said, "Oh, FNAF's kind of cool." Yeah, yeah. I promise I'm not late to everything. I promise. I'm busy. Um, but A is not into Dead by Daylight like I am, and so it was kind of interesting thinking of something with no pre-regulation or precognition, whatever that word is, of DBD. You know, we also did another video. Well, I'm about to make a video on this channel, and I'll tell you what it is. It's a concept. Yeah. But I'll tell you that later. But I'll tell you what A listed in this, and I'll tell you what I listed. Right. So I listed must have. Right. Now keep in mind this is before the live stream, so we didn't know nothing. Right. So I'm still gonna put in everything I said, me and A said, and everything. Because but must have. So for me, I said must have Springtrap as a killer, which we already know is we have it, but keep in mind this was before. So I must have Springtrap as a killer. All 4 animatronics must be present either as a power or skins, or you can change them and they get different powers. So there's a theory going around. Hang on, before the theory though, there's an interview, and I'll put it on here, that said his power is going to be kind of like Springtrap. No, his power is going to be like Dracula's. How you're going to have different versions, and maybe those versions, like different things like long range and stuff like that. They're pieced, they're different people. So, like I said, I didn't know what anybody is. But there was a theory that said, what if you Springtrap and like the animatronics, they roam the map, and then like depending on like certain generators being done or something, then or animatronics have like different things, like Foxy's faster, but like he runs really fast but then gets slowed down slower than everybody else. Like they all have different powers and such, but you can like teleport to them or get access to them and stuff, kind of like the night, but instead AI is always on us. Like there's a bunch of theories. That's one of them that I heard, so that's why I kind of thought about this. But the main reason why I thought about it was the Bonnie, Foxy, Chica, and Freddy. Like you gotta have them in there somewhere. As you know, they're on the stage, which I guess kind of counts, but I want it as skins. I want you to be able to play as Foxy. Foxy is my favorite character. So that I want that. Just I want the characters to be involved. I will pay a lot of money for them, 10, 15, even 20, if you wanna do that. Sure. 20 for a skin though is kind of crazy, but it's a legendary. You could say like a legendary ultra, whatever already. It's FNAF. You're gonna make money, especially from me. Must have cameras, preferably vents, but it must have cameras. Vents because it's not. I like thinking of the first game as a main integral part. Every other piece for me, it adds to the story and it adds great, but it's not as important to me because we start from the first one, just like how the movie, like you kind of centered around the first game. There's cameras, Springtrap's kind of sort of in there, but you don't really know about them until later. So it's keep in mind the FNAF lore. Like I know like 98% or less. I don't know. Whatever. But as long as they have cameras, somehow, some way. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I wish it was like sort of how Singularity puts cameras down. You can see, but instead there's like 6 cameras or something, and or 8 or something, and each survivor gets like 1 or 2, and then they can put them down around the map, and then when you see Springtrap walking, his aura gets red, or he becomes not detectable anymore, like undetectable, or something, or you get like a mini map, kind of like the school merchant, you get like a little device, but it's for survivors, and then you can check cameras. That's crazy. Checking cameras on your phone that other survivors put down. Ooh, what if that's it? If that's it, I called it. I called it. I called it. I never heard that theory until just now. But that's fire. That's fire. That's actually crazy. Because they did say that survivors get a special like interaction between the killers that was never introduced or something. So that could be it. And if that's the case, that's fire. That's lit. That would be really cool. Like while you're working on the generator, you just like get off and see like a dot, boom, it's over here. Oh, it's over here. Ooh. As this generation would say, I'm cooking, chat. Alright, anyways. So yeah, just as have the 4 animatronics. Oh, cameras. Yeah, cameras. Vents. I'm sure they do vents probably on the main map, the Fnaf map. But I just prefer cameras. Must have the legendary pizzeria, and you can do like the unknown theater or alien ship with the outside, but must have pizzeria. I think that's what they did actually. Because I thought that was perfect. You can have, because the map is small. You can't really. I mean, you maybe could, but if you have it like a blend, that way it's a version of Dead by Daylight plus FNAF. I think a blend would work. It would work. And that's what they did. Yeah, so it works out. Must have. Now keep in mind, this is a this is a must, or like this has to happen, or else I will be pretty sad. But like everything else is a must, but this is a like top priority must. Must have the 6 o'clock ring when you exit the gate. So like while the survivor is like you're one, you know, you're in the gate, you hear, yeah, you know. Like you gotta have that. It's so iconic. You gotta have that, and that makes perfect sense, you know. And also when it while you're loading in, like while you're spinning and stuff, you know, I want to hear, hello, 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 hello. You know, but that's it. But whenever you get like on the hook, like as you're going up, like instead of the like the entity sound like really loud and stuff, it just transforms into like the kids that goes ah. Like just little effects, the sound effects would add so much. You have no idea. It would add so much. Now, this is what they should have. This isn't what they have to have. This is what they should have. They should have, like if they don't have this, I'll be okay. But they should have this. It's like my wants. It's like my needs. You know, they should have at least one different version of the skin per game available. You know, it's basically, for example, like one Torchica, one Nightmare Bonnie, one Withered Foxy. You know, just like having one of each. You know, like a tour version of Withered. That way you can still have the different variations of the stuff. Yeah. because instead of just focusing on like the first game, you just have like different variations of other games. You know, I would think it'd be really cool for skins. You know, and you make money. I would buy them. You make money. It must have, or it should have, a behind the stage room where we see disabled animatronics, which we got in actually the picture too. So we got that. You know, we can take that off. And a Mori. So I'm not sure how the Mori would be, but you know how in FNAF, the power goes out, and then you know the animatronic jumps in the room and like jump scares you, and it's like, ah, you're dead. You know, kind of like that. But like whenever you're getting Mori'd, the screen just turns black, and then you see like Springtrap's like face flicker or some animatronic, whatever they do, flicker, right? And then you get jump scared like, ah, you know, what's up? You know, then you're dead. You know, something like that. You know, or kind of like in the movie, you can either do that, or in the movie, I'm about to do spoilers in case people who haven't seen it. Spoiler alert for the next 25 seconds. Spoiler. When he's in the room, like in the middle of the room, and all the animatronics surround him, and then like when they corner him or whatever you want to put it, and then like he retreats and gets like disabled and stuff, you know, kind of like that. He basically get jump without getting jumped. You know what I'm saying? Get cornered. All right, spoiler. On spoilers now. On spoilers. All right. So this is A's list. All right. This is A's must have. Now keep in mind, like I said, A is more attuned to FNAF than me, so it's yeah. It must have so you know how Resident Evil has the Nemesis, like the part 1, and then part 2 is like Wesker and Ada and stuff. So there's like two different parts. So if there was a FNAF 2 chapter, it must have a sister location DLC. So like basically like a part 2, instead of focusing on the first half of the games and stuff, focus on the second half. You know, and it must have OG Easter eggs. I think that's what they're doing now. I'm not sure. They did say there was a bunch of Easter eggs. I'm not sure like how OG. Oh, I know it means like when you click the Freddy's nose. I know that's OG Easter egg. There's a bunch of OG Easter eggs. Like I said, me and A, we did this list maybe about 2.5 weeks ago, so it's you know, maybe a bit earlier, so my memory's kind of foggy about where exactly. But survivor should be Michael Afton. Yeah, Michael Afton. As you know, we don't get it, which is quite sad. And that was on the must too. Oh, and that was a star, so that's like the must. Well, that's when I tell A they don't have Michael, hopefully A don't be upset, but should have at least one skin for every member of the Afton family. Isn't Vanessa? Isn't count? Does that count? I don't know if Vanessa counts. But assuming because she's the daughter of William, so she should, you know. Michael, William, and Vanessa, I think, something like that. But I don't know. But at least one skin for every member of the Afton family. That's so. Well, technically we might have it because we have the movie version of Springtrap. So I guess that counts. And then Michael would get his skin, but Michael not. So they kind of half fulfilled this wish. Now we don't know what the skins are for the chapter because it hasn't came out yet. But at least a little bit of that is fulfilled. So maybe that counts. So for A's Mori, A wants to show a picture of you being stuffed in the suit. So it doesn't have to be you actually being in the suit, like being stuffed into the suit. But whenever you die, like it turns black, and whenever it unturns black, like you can see, it's just like you know how in the games it's like just shows a camera of you being like in the suit, like that's you, like that's pretty much what that is, you know, like as Mori. It's like you were stuffed into a suit. Now, from a thematic point of view, you could just do just that. You know, if you're watching the survivor die, it just turns like just black, and then like it's like uncovered, and then it's just the survivor like you don't have to be all survivors in a suit. It could just be like a generic bodysuit thing, but you know, something like And so a mix of my Mori and A's Mori was show the black screen, but instead of nothing and then being shot to shoot, it's a bunch of screams and like clanking, like clinking, and then like you could hear like a bunch of groveling and stuff like ching 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 ching, like ding bing, it's a bunch of sounds, and then it shows you the suit. That way it has more impact, So instead of more and then and it shows you dead, it could be more and then boom, and then it just shows you, and like it could be like string chapters like walking behind it or something. I don't know, but so yeah, that's what I expect from the FNAF chapter. My opinions about the future of this game because of this chapter. Now, of course, so let's start from the basics. Of course, this chapter is going to reach an all-time player high. If it will, it's going to happen. What's it, like the all-time players, like Steam is like what, 55k or something like that? It's probably going to beat like 80, 90, something like that. Yeah. And then they're going to say, oh, look at this new player count, and then it's going to drop. It's really know what's going to happen. But they did a few things, they really had like Operation Health and stuff before the chapter releases, which is good. There's just some core issues that gotta work out. I think the game will be fine. It's been fine before, and there's just like a really good hill of success. It'll be really fine after. So I think the game is going to be fine. But the Operation Health is really, like, that needs to supersede the FNAF chapter. Like, it needs to just be good. That way, everyone's game like 8, 10 years old, something like that. So it needs to be more so it can just do good, I guess. Like the game is fun. It's good. But that they have FNAF out the way, though, that's a big one. And the only other big ones they got were like Slenderman and it. And then there's others, but not and Jason, of course, but it's just not as big, So the game's still gonna do fine. The game's gonna be fine. It's not going nowhere. It's still the behemoth of the game industry that it is. It'll be okay. It's. My final thoughts. In conclusion, I'm excited for this chapter, but not as much as I want to be. This chapter, it's FNAF. Amazing. The killer, of course. He's gonna be great. I just don't think they're gonna have the cosmetics. I don't think they're gonna have the power right. I don't think they're gonna. Coming from my personal opinion, I think the chapter, what they're probably gonna do is the chapter's gonna be what would have happened if Scott wasn't directing it. Like played it safe. No survivor, just probably gonna be a little bit of cosmetics. Probably not that cool. I don't know what they're gonna do though. Just play it safe. But then the Scott would have come in. He would add everything else. Like just that. There's so much extra potential. I just don't know. I'm fearful that they're not gonna do it right. What they announced, a map and a killer. Okay, we don't know the power yet, but there's no survivor. Hopefully the power makes up for it, but I didn't. And the skins that they showed, of course there's going to be more skins, but they didn't say nothing about a playable Bonnie, Foxy, Chica, Freddy. I don't know, man. I don't know. As of right now, based on what I know, the map and the killer and a few screenshots, when it's Fnaf, I want to give it like a 5 or 6. But I'll give it like a 5.5. But that's just when I know. Well, I want to give like a 6. I'll give it like a 6 because it's above average. Because plus they have the skin, and I'll give it a 6. I know it's pretty low, but I just feel like they're gonna mess up. Well, my expectations aren't that high. All I want is just skins, and I want a decent power, and I want just a survivor. I guess I can live without, but it's like, it's FNAF. Why don't we have the full potential? We could have, unless they do like part 2 or part 3, maybe, but I just, knowing Scott, I mean, I'm happy we got it, at least. I'm happy we got it. I'm not trying to be ungrateful. I'm just saying, the legendary FNAF has so much potential, and it doesn't live up to it. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm grateful we have it, but it just, you know, can't please everyone, which I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. If you like it, you like it. I'm not trying to hate. I haven't played it yet, so I'm gonna make the other 2 parts of this 3-part series. Maybe my opinions might change. Maybe I'll be happier. Maybe I'll be sad. I don't know. I fear the unknown, they say. You know, I don't know. You know, I trust them, but it's FNAF, the potential. Who knows? I don't know what they're gonna do, but I just hope it's the best for both. You know, as long as we get it, you know, I'll take it. Rather than him calling it off and say, okay, everyone's ungrateful, we're not just no more. At least we get it, so I'll take it. But I just wish he could reach his full potential, but who knows? We'll see. Thank you for watching. Oh, I got one last thing for you. Hang on. Stay right there. Hang on. Yes, I do have this. Suck it up, dude. Oh, yes, my legs are like this. Suck it up, dude, with it. It's hot in my room. Take the L. Oh! Thank you for watching. Bye.